welcome to Web of Stories, and today I'm going to talk about what I've been reading lately. First, I should say, this has been a weird week in our neck of the woods. It was always going to be a weird week. What happened was I had a, as we say in our family, colonoscopy scheduled for Friday. My mother would be like rolling over in her urn to know I'm talking about this on video because that's not something we talk about. But I think preventative medicine is important. It's not, I was just having it because I hit that age where you have them. Nothing triggered it or anything. So that was actually supposed to be this Friday, but Mother Nature had other plans and she dumped 6 inches of snow on us. So the kids have been home from school for 2 days and my procedure was postponed. Fortunately, it was postponed before I took the pipe cleaners, because once that started, the colonoscopy was gonna happen no matter what. But so that's down the road now at some point. I don't know when, but because our schedule was totally upended, my reading week was just a little bit weird. I didn't get quite as much reading done as I had planned, but that's okay. I still got some done. So let's go through it. I finished 3 books last week. And I'm not going to talk a lot about most of them. I am going to talk about this one, which is The Scandalous Sisters of Prickwillow Place by Julie Berry. This is a middle grade book. This is one of the books that I read. My daughter didn't recommend this one, ironically. I bought this for her a while ago and she hasn't read it yet. But I read it and I was reminded of something that Ashley at Bookish Realm always says, which is, I realize I am not the target audience for this book. And I think that was my issue with this book. There were some things in it, as an adult, I was like, oh, no, no, no. But I think someone who is in the target audience would love this book. So I am not rating this book now. I did not review it on my blog or on any social media, but I'm going to give it to my daughter Lily to read. But she was supposed to read it a long time ago when I bought it for her, and she hasn't done that yet. But I'm going to have her read it, and then we're going to discuss it, and then I'll decide what I thought of this book. But it was The Scandalous Sisterhood of Prickwillow Place, and it's about some girls at a privately run boarding school in England, and their headmistress and her brother dropped dead in front of them. They were poisoned, and the girls make some decisions about how to handle things and what to do with their lives. It's interesting. We'll see what Lily thinks about it. Let's throw that book over at her. So I also finished, I'll put it over here because I returned the book already, but Better the Blood by Michael Bennett. This is a thriller. It is a debut adult fiction by this author. He has a young adult graphic novel or I don't know if it's a graphic novel or graphic memoir, one of those. And then he also has a nonfiction book out, but this is his debut adult fiction book. And it is a thriller, and it is very much in that genre, but it centers around a Maori detective in Auckland, New Zealand, who is on the trail of a serial killer. The author is also Maori. I really enjoyed this book. I gave it an A. The only thing that kept it from being an A+ is there were a couple places where the main character made some decisions that I thought were just a little bit predictable, but not actually anything that involved the main plot. That probably the plot that's going to go over several books, because this is the first in a series. The second book should be out next year. It's also apparently being developed for television, so hopefully we will be able to see that over in the United States when it happens. And then I finished You Made a Fool of Death with Your Beauty by Akwaeke Emezi. I was looking forward to this book because I had read The Death of Vivek Oji, which I enjoyed. And I have thoughts about this book. I ended up giving it a B rating, and I used the Compile system to come up with that rating. I have a lot of feelings about this book. There are things about it that I really admired and thought were fantastic, and there was one big thing which I don't want to go into right here. Well, okay, I will go into it. It could be considered a spoiler. I'm not sure because I'm not sure what's written in the synopsis, so I will put spoiler down at the bottom while I talk about it. The character of there's one character of Alim, who all the characters in this book, with the exception of this character, are incredibly well drawn. They really just feel very real. This character it's not that he doesn't feel real, it's that he feels like not of this world. He feels too perfect. And he's even like initially described as being a set place in the sun or something like that. And I think at one point he like shines or glitters. I don't know. I think if this had been a different story, if the story took some different directions, this actually would have been very effective. But the way the story was actually written, it really, I think, was a detriment to the story, and it kind of hampered my enjoyment of it. But there's still a lot in this book that I really enjoyed. And I know people love this book, but there you go. And those were the 3 books that I finished this week. So let me talk about what I am reading now. I'm going to start with what I have been reading. So I am still working on Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. As I said, my kids had an unexpectedly long weekend. I read this book usually while I eat lunch, and when they're home, my house is noisy. So I didn't read as much of it this week as I had wanted to. That's fine. I'm still way ahead of my schedule. And I will probably finish it by early summer or so if I keep sort of on the rate I'm going now. I am still listening to You'll Never Believe What Happened to Lacey by Amber Ruffin and Lacey Lamar. I'm very close to being finished with this one. I am going to be finished by the end of the month because I do want this to count as a February book. This is a very entertaining book. It's an audiobook. It should be a quick listen, but I usually do my audiobook listening at the gym, and because I was asked to isolate before my procedure, which didn't happen, I wasn't at the gym this week. So I did listen to some of it at home, but I just hadn't had the opportunity to listen to it as much. But I will have it done before March 1st. And then I am so close to being done with Mink River by Brian Doyle. I love this book. It's amazing. I can't wait to tell you all about it. I am also going to be finished with it by March 1st. So once I finish this book, usually I'm reading this at the point where I'm usually reading a short story collection. I'm actually not going to do a short story collection after this. I'm going to read Amari and the Great Game in sort of the same sort of time I would read the short story collection. March is a little bit of an unusual month because I'm going to be gone for part of it. So that just kind of works out in my reading schedule, the best way to do it. But I will be starting Amari and the Great Game probably March 1st after I finish Mink River. And then the 2 new books that I'm started, I started Agatha Christie, the Sittaford Mystery. I'm actually really enjoying this one. This is a standalone, so it's not a Perot, it's not a Marple, it's not any of the other ones. I just started it yesterday. I got about a third of the way through, and I'm actually really enjoying this one. I have heard good things about this particular book, and it is living up to my expectations of it. I'm not far enough along to really say that much about it. Right now, someone has been murdered, and they're trying to figure out who did it, you know. But I am really enjoying this one. I try to read one Agatha Christie a month, so this Agatha Christie came in at the very end of the month. And then for my ebook reading, I am reading The Ghost Fields, which is the 7th book in the Ruth Galloway series by Elly Griffiths. Obviously, the Ruth Galloway series is my priority series right now, so I'm just sort of kind of booking through it. But I'm really enjoying this. I only started it last night, so I'm only about, I don't know, maybe 12% through with it. I can't say much about it, but it seems that there was a couple years of a jump between this book and the last book. So it's interesting to kind of see where things are, because obviously things have happened between these 2 books, but I can't go into it because it would be a spoiler for the previous book, actually. But I always enjoy these books. This is what I like to read before I go to bed. It just kind of like is relaxation and fun. So yeah, so that's what I'm reading now. And that's my week. And before I go, I did want to tell you something else. 2 other things I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video. First of all, because this has been a weird week, my daughter and I ended up having more time to pre-record some videos. So I have done that. However, they're kind of out of order as to when they're going to be, when they're going to go public on my YouTube channel. So for like the next couple weeks, you'll see some videos where I refer back to videos that haven't aired yet. And I'm sorry. I'm new to this. I'm sorry. I'm just giving you a heads up on that. So there is that. And the other thing is, my daughter and I are working on a little project now. And I do actually announce this, but not in a video that shows up until it shows up for like another 2 weeks. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that, but I want to tell you about it now. And I'm actually going to do another video after this, which is just dedicated to this project. And it'll go live tomorrow. But we are wanting to send used books to little free library stewards in states like Florida and Texas, the states where schools and libraries are under attack by the state governments, and there's basically book banning and censorship going on. So we're looking for little free library stewards in those places that would like to receive some books from us. As I said, I will have a video with more information on this going up tomorrow, and then there'll be a video in a couple weeks where I mention it again. But anyway, that's something that's coming up now. So anyway, this is kind of a jumbled video. I'm sorry, I had a lot kind of going on around me today, but I did want to touch base with what I'm reading now. And I will leave this now before I babble on too much, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.